But when we want to sit up there and look at the latest controversy that they're involved in terms of national security information, in terms of attacking the Houthis, with Mr. Hegseth himself, who to me falls under a DEI category, by the way, and we want to talk about this man being fired. Were y'all talking about people being fired when Biden pulled troops out of Afghanistan? When at least 13 lives were lost? When billions in equipment were left in Afghanistan? The sloppy manner in which we parted ways? Were you talking about the same thing then? Because this ain't worse than that.
This might be a short video, guys, because the media, they really want us to focus on this signal story. So as you saw from the intro, even Stephen A. Smith's coming on and saying, hey, look, I don't like Pete Hegseth, but compared to what y'all last administration did, y'all didn't fire those people. And the crazy thing is, it seems like the argument that the left is trying to make is that we should hold Republicans and conservatives to a higher standard than we hold ourselves. And that never works out very well for anybody, right? They come out, right? They're doing a whole spin cycle. Democrats and media alike have made it clear that they won't let this go. Democrats and the media just can't quit the signal story, as evidenced by the broadcast across multiple networks on Sunday morning. On every show, time was devoted to asking questions about the apparently accidental inclusion of an Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, in a signal chat. They keep talking about classified information, in which top officials discuss an imminent attack on the Houthis terrorists. For those who don't spend their Sundays glued to their televisions and their Sunday afternoons attempting to dig through a week's worth of network news and cable spin, the Daily Wire has compiled a short summary of what you may have missed. Despite the fact that the attack discussed on the chat went off without so much of a hitch, American service members do not appear to have been in any danger, from ABC News to CNN host, guest, and discuss whether or not the information discussed in signal chats amount to classified information, which should ultimately happen to those who are responsible for it. Right? So they keep playing out, Republicans are downplaying this, right? They asked Donald Trump this question. And the funny part is, I think Trump's approval ratings actually increased during the time that they kept talking about the signal story. So to me, this seems like it's ineffective, but, it doesn't stop them from trying. CNN. Let's take a look.
Pete Hegseth, he did the opposite. He put classified, sensitive material about an operation hours before that operation took place into an unclassified setting, which is one of the biggest no-nos at the Department of Defense. If somebody like me did that, I'd be out on the sidewalk. And so I think you need to really take a look at, the actions that they took and the result of it.
Scott?
Well, I think it's possible for two things to be true. One, it's possible to say this was a mistake, and it's a teachable moment, and I have no doubt they won't do it again. And it's also possible to look at, if you're trying to assess what should we do about it. I hear Democrats arguing, well, we should fire Pete Hegseth, we should fire the National Security Advisor. The bar for firing people like this is really high from the last administration, when after the Afghanistan withdrawal, which was a disaster, people died, no accountability was meted out. After the drone strike that vaporized those poor kids and that family, no accountability. After the Secretary of Defense went AWOL, no accountability. So if you're arguing today that we should get rid of Pete Hegseth over a small mistake regarding communications, even while he was expertly executing this military operation against the Houthi rebels, which also the Biden administration didn't take up, I don't have a lot of time for that argument today, and neither does most Republicans.
So according to this X poster, Trump's approval rating sits comfortably at 50%. Signalgate was a huge failure. Oh, look, I was correct again. I've been following this account for a while, and she seems to be spot on. And I talked about this personally. Like, I didn't care about this story, honestly. I was like, did anyone die? No. We move on. Did the operation fail because this came out? No. Anyway, if it was think about this. Think about it this way. If the information given was crucial to the attack on the Houthis and a journalist decided to expose that information, wouldn't that make that journalist the one that declassified the information? Because he was inadvertently added to a chat? Oh, this was a mistake. We have to fire Pete Hegseth over this. Or was Hakeem Jeffries saying this when it was his guy? I forgot his name. I forgot the guy's name. The one that, You saw Scott Jennings bring up Lloyd Austin. Where was this for Lloyd Austin, buddy? Rules for thee, but not for me. Democrats, do you want to be treated with special treatment? Trump trashed Kristen Welker on NBC after Sunday appearance. She wasted my administration's time. President Trump ripped into Meet the Press anchor Christy Welker and her home network NBC News and Sunday Evening Post on his Truth Social panning their coverage of his administration and saying that they were focused on all the wrong things. I believe this is the biggest critique that I think could have been said about the mainstream media right now. They focus all on the wrong things. No one cares about the story. The only people who care about the story is Democrats because they want to make the Republicans and Trump look bad. Like these people on the Democratic Party, you guys think y'all flawless? Y'all think y'all don't make any mistakes? And this is the problem with the Democrats. Y'all sit here on your little fake moral high ground, pretending that you're so much better than everyone. I joke around all the time. I think liberalism, there should be some type of psychological kind of study done on liberals, because I don't understand how someone can be this arrogant and this wrong at the same time. They're trying to force people to care about this stuff. And it don't matter how many times, this is like Trump hatred. It's like Trump derangement serial. It don't matter how many times you bring up how bad Trump is a bad guy, all this stuff. And we're like, okay, what you offering? You criticize him. You got all this criticism from Trump. You got all this criticism for Pete Hegseth. You got all this criticism for his approach. What's your approach? What is better? What's the best thing to do? Democrats are stuck on this question. Trump, who spoke with Welker himself by phone on Sunday, said that she had wasted my administration's time by focusing on stories that were less important and failing to address the serious issues facing the country. Here's his ex-post. Kristen Welker, entire first half of the lowly rated Meet the Fake Press this morning was devoted to boring signal witch hunt. She doesn't want to talk in details about anything that matters, like how well we're doing against the Houthis, substantive peace talks with Russia, Ukraine, or Iran. She wasted my administration's time by talking to them about nothing. Why can't NBC, one of the worst broadcasters on television, hire people that are honest and credible? The reason they don't is because their chairman, Brian Roberts, is a pathetic loser who is petrified of the left and always will be. Comcast, MSNBC, and NBC have fought me for years, spending almost all their waking hours making up fake stories, and look, you lost. This is another like evidence that, you know, Democrats don't learn. They don't learn very well, right? And you know, I don't know. I was stuck on how if I wanted to do this video right here, but I think this goes to show that Democrats, they don't got eyes for what the American people actually care about, right? Because this guy, I forgot his name, Wes Moore, this is a guy that, you know, Stephen A. Smith, he talks very highly of. And honestly, I don't see why.
Why so many young men have left your party. I mean, young men, this is a group that Joe Biden won by double digits in 2020. Donald Trump won young men in 2024. That's a huge swing. So was it your policies? Was it your message? Or is it both?
As a man under the age of 30, turning 29 soon, it's both. It's both. If you look at the outcomes, if you don't believe me, look at my last video I did before we went into the weekend. A liberal confronted Gavin Newsom with a reality check about the statistics. You want to build high-speed rails. You wanted to upgrade the grid. You wanted broadband internet across the country. You wanted to put charging stations across the country, and you failed at doing all that. The Democrats don't have a good track record of actually delivering good results. Democrats are losing population numbers because living in their state, young people can't survive in blue states. Not without working 3, 4, maybe with a side gig jobs. That's the only way a young person can afford living in New York. Grouping up with other young people to split costs amongst each other. Like look at the outcomes. That's all you have to do. But you know, Westmore ain't gonna focus on that. He gotta make his party look good.
Well, I think about the foundation for our race in the first place. It was young people, and a lot of it was young men, because I think we were speaking to them and not speaking at them. I think we were bringing them into, because if you look at the data that we have about young men in our society, there is a fall off. The level of suicide rate for young men has exploded. when you're looking at the fact that that the employment rate and the job participation numbers have not grown for young men in this country since 1964.
And Governor,
So I'm gonna play a little racial argument here. Let's talk about white men, because there's a lot of stories out there about white men having a hard time getting job opportunities, right? Especially in literature or in industries that seems to be overwhelmingly dominated by progressives and liberals, like the entertainment industry, right? Apparently, there has not been a new male literature author or something like that in a long time, because there's stories out there that they're being intentionally excluded out. They're not been given opportunities, right? And last time I checked, white people make up 66% of the population here in the United States of America. That means there's a 66% chance that a lot of these white men are what drove men to go towards Trump. Because we see the Democratic Party are not the party for us. They're not the party of equality. They're the party of, hey, we want to bless our constituents. That's women, white liberal women specifically. That's the number one on their hierarchy. Then second, they're attack dogs, black women, black Democrat women. That's your role. Your role is to be the attack dog. Look at Jasmine Crockett, not making any sense, pushing away a bunch of people, right? Black Democrats, they pretend that they can't do nothing without DEI. Oh my God, without DEI, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. AKA, without the white liberals' mercy and benevolence, we want to get job opportunities. This is why Black Democrats' whole job is to make white liberals feel like saviors, and that's what turned me off with Democrats. And I think that's why a lot of young men are not really vibing with Democrats right now, because Democrats are nothing more than the people who pretend that they're victims, that cry about insignificant things. They cry about pretend problems while men are dealing with real problems. Hey, I want to be able to afford a lifestyle I can't right now because of the limited job opportunities that I have. DI, right? If you look at it, well, they say white women disproportionately benefit from DEI, but at the same time, if a black conservative say, hey, I don't want DEI, I want DEI abolished, somehow it hurts me. But you, black Democrats or black progressives, one of you guys on the left, you'll say, no, actually, DEI benefits white women. Okay, so then why you don't want it banned then if it only benefits white women, or it mostly benefit white women? There's a weird thing going on right now on the Democratic side. And these are the kind of things that don't benefit men at all. You were called out, Democrats, that your messaging was too feminine. You didn't want to listen to anybody. You didn't want to build bridges. You just wanted to talk at people. And Westmore's saying, do more of the same. Just like with the Signal story. You want to do more of the same? And this is how you become out of touch with a party. I don't know if I should continue. Actually, let me continue.
You did that on a state level. Forgive me. You did that on a state level. Are you saying that that is something that is missing in your party on a national level?
I think everybody needs to address the fact that if you look at the data and what happened, and the reason that we've really gotten here is if you just look at the data, that 30, 40 years ago, that there was a real fall off with young women, and there was a big push, a policy push towards making sure that we're directing more support towards our young women. Now what's happened is a pendulum has swung. You've got to follow the data. And that's why in Maryland, we have made it an all of government and all of society effort to be able to do things like get more men inside of the classroom, to get more men inside of healthcare, to make sure that we're doing things like reforming of a juvenile justice system and providing more supports for young boys that are falling in the juvenile justice system.
No, I don't think that's the answer. I understand they'll get more men into healthcare, aka give more men, opportunities. I understand that. But get them away from the justice system. There's certain things, in my honest opinion, as a conservative, if you're a conservative, you believe that there's things that's outside the government's control, and the government should not cross that boundary. Social issues is one of them. You can create an incentive structure all you want, but at some aspects, there's certain things that's outside the government's control. You can't make, let's say, black boys commit less crime. That's a societal, familial, that's like a black community problem that only the black community can fix. The government can only help, but the way the government's helping is not really creating a good incentive. Absolving people of accountability is not a good incentive for them to stop doing crime. But I digress. I think that's just more of a philosophical difference there. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want this question answered. Maybe you guys give me your own perspective on this. But why can't the Democrats just see that, we're a problem? Why can't they make any adjustments? That's my question to you. Why Democrats can't make an adjustment from trying to get us to care about the signal story to still not understanding why they lost young men in this election? What is stopping the Democrats purely? Is it their delusion? Is it their confidence? I don't know what it is. But maybe you guys can articulate that for me in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys watching it in the video. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.